See, I'm a big fan of predictive analytics. I think most of the conversation these days we are having are with bots.
So AI is the king, queen.
Customers want you to be available 24/7, 7 days a week. We are not using AI to sort their data. We are using AI to interpret those data or give insights which usually, say, a human would take X number of days to do. AI is probably able to do in a couple of minutes.
Your personal favorite, meetings or dashboards?
Very, very difficult question to answer. For data analytics, I think if you're not using AI to interpret data or to draw
Right.
insights from the data, then probably you're not using it to the fullest.
Hello all and welcome to ZopperSpeak Leadership Series. I'm joined by Mr. Nilaya Misra, who's Head of Operations and Analytics. Thank you so much, Nilaya, for joining us.
Pleasure is all mine.
So, Nilaya, let me just dive in straight to, what it was when you started work versus now. I mean, how has the entire data and analytics changed for you? I'm from an insurtech standpoint.
See, I started my career, professional career, I think about a decade ago.
Right.
A lot of things were manual back then. I still remember we spending a lot of time initially in our initial years on Excel sheets
Correct.
rather than on deriving insights from those Excel sheets. I think the world has now completely changed and we strictly speak about insights based on analytics
Hmm.
rather than people spending time on just making stuff on Excel or visualization tools. It is all about insights. I think with the technology we have today, even insights is now just a click away.
Correct.
So at this stage, I think it is much easier for the professionals who are now entering into this industry rather than when we entered about a decade ago. So stark change in terms of efficiency
Correct.
and how we visualize data and interpret data.
So, I mean, it's a really well-rounded thought, and that brings me to the next point. Rather, how is customer seeing this coming, and you deal with customers in and out. So, how is data important? How is analytics important from your business point of view when it comes about customers and their behavioral aspect?
See, in my view, customer wants two things. First is a very efficient process. That is a very shortened entire journey for a customer. And second, a very contextual offering.
Correct.
These days, you cannot offer anything and everything to the customer. You have to do your work, you do your homework, you have to study his profile. You have all the tools in the world
Hmm.
which can analyze the customer. You have a good customer confidence score, which our analytical tool can probably just make in a couple of minutes. So you have to ensure that you are offering something which is very, very relevant to the customer.
Correct.
The chances of that customer buying that offering and subsequently improving your conversion would be much higher if you're doing that. Second, the customer of today is very, very impatient.
Hmm.
They want a very shortened entire journey. They don't want to spend a lot of time speaking to executives or even to bots.
Correct.
So these days, all the interactions have now moved to bots. You will
Right.
hardly find any human interaction in most of the customer facing apps. So they want a very, very shortened time frame for the entire journey. And if you're able to manage both of these, I think your chances of converting that customers and retaining that customer are much higher.
Correct.
I think you will be using food delivery apps, you will be using stock market apps. All of these apps, you want two things. First, a very uh, easy UI or good to use UI that so that even a child probably could uh, do those things. And second is a very efficient transaction, end to end money transfer, end to end food delivery just in a couple of seconds.
So customer ease and keeping the customer in mind. Now, since we are talking about customers, I mean, I cannot not talk about claims because help me correct that data helps and analytics helps you to understand whether there are potential risks, there are red flags. So, what is your take on that front?
See, I'm a big fan of predictive analytics.
Okay.
I think your first question was how are things different from when you started
Yeah.
was where are we today? I think back then predictive analytics was just starting.
Hmm.
It was still being used, but not widely used as today.
Right.
Most of the times, I still remember we doing analysis on the previous or historical data and then deriving insights from those data.
Right.
Nowadays, it is a complete flip.
Right.
You have to analyze the customer profile first.
Right.
You have customer income docs, you have customer purchase history, you have a civil score, you have n number of things which you can link to a customer profile or a customer score,
Correct.
and then you can govern your risk accordingly.
Correct.
So in predictive analytics, I think, and particularly very, very relevant to the entire fintech landscape. And by fintech, I would mean everything: pay tech, wealth tech, insure tech,
Right.
all of these, lending tech for that matter, any and everything which requires a good amount of customer verification and a decent amount of risk. Predictive analytics has to be used. So the industry uses, I think, this to the core. Whenever a customer registers himself or herself, you are able to assign the propensity of claim from this customer, the likeliness of renewals, how much he can pay, willingness to pay, ability to pay, everything can be linked uh,
Together.
together.
Yeah.
And so we are clearly able to establish that this customer has a higher risk profile or a low risk profile. And
Okay.
eventually we intimate our claims team as well,
Right.
that this is the red zone, this is the green zone, this is the amber zone. And I think the entire industry is using this. And without this, I think in today's world, it is very, very difficult to survive, given that everything is digital, and with that comes a good amount of risk as well.
I mean, I'm sure, and I cannot agree more to that, which brings me to the next question. So, Nilay, last question almost, like, how has AI helped you, especially in data and analytics? Because you spoke about predictive analysis, and it's also your personal favorite. But AI coming into the picture, I'm sure lot has changed, and it will change. So, what is your take on how AI will help us in the coming times?
See, again, very, very relevant for the entire fintech and insurtech
Right.
space. And I see the impact of AI very, very profound on two things.
Mhm.
First is anything and everything that has to do with verification. It could be a normal KYC verification, it could be checking of income proofs, it could be n number of docs that you have to submit by opening an account or trying to get a loan. So first is anything and everything that has to do with verification.
Correct.
And second is all the customer interactions or touch points that a company has.
Mhm.
I think both of these spaces have already been taken over by AI or AI bots.
Okay.
So now verifications, you have all the logic built. You have, I think, millions of billions of data points which are being generated every day, even which is, I think, relevant for our company and even the entire sector at large.
Right.
So you are able to clearly see the impact of AI, which
Mhm.
has reduced the turnaround times
Mhm.
of these verifications. Earlier, I remember there used to be an in-person verification. Then you had to go to a bank to get the details of the customer. The entire process of taking a loan could take from any day, any from 15 days.
Yes, yeah.
Very, very tedious. So I think every one of us would have experienced that. Now it is just a matter of opening an account, submitting your Aadhaar or PAN, and everything is linked to that PAN.
Right.
I think government has done a phenomenal job when it comes to providing consent-based data rails. And by that, I would mean you have all your docs placed, for example, at DigiLocker. So if any government agency or any private agency wants to fetch data from there, they can do that. Similarly, you can set a UPI auto mandate
Right.
when you want to pay a loan or you have a recurring payment. So all these things have made it very, very simple. A very, very, I think, good example here would be the Ayushman Bharat digital mission.
Okay.
Most of these hospitals fetch the customer data directly from the portal.
Portal, yeah.
So the entire claim journey, everything is sorted, and it is a matter of minutes rather than a lot of submission of documents. So I think first is verification, and second is the customer touch points. I think most of the conversation these days we are having are with bots,
Yeah.
and they don't have any latency. You don't have to hold a line for 2 minutes or 4 minutes like we usually are accustomed to in most of the customer facing journeys. And particularly insurance and lending, where the chances of claims are very high,
Mhm.
you need to have a very, very robust AI as a first phase. And then probably the second touch point should be, if something gets escalated, then you have to transfer it to a human interaction. But the first has to be AI, because you need to ensure a very high turnaround time. You need to ensure a very high NPS. See, most of the customer promoter scores are related to how efficient you are able to handle these transactions and whether you are available 24/7 or not.
Correct.
Customers want you to be available 24/7, 7 days a week. So that is a challenge, and I think AI is solving those challenges for us. I think for our organizations, for an organization like us,
Yeah.
we also deal with a lot of customers, and we have also started incorporating in most AI in most of our customer facing interactions. and we are seeing a very good result in terms of shortened tats and very high NPS we are seeing in the last couple of months.
I'm sure. I mean, you're doing with you and the team, you're doing a fabulous job, and kudos to you all.
No doubt.
That brings to the end of my session, but we have a very small rapid fire round.
Sure.
So, shall we?
Yeah.
So, Nilay, if you could automate one part of operations, what would that be?
I think I already mentioned this: verification and customer data points. Verification is something because we deal with a lot of docs, so verification would take the first place, and second because a lot of customer handling and exception handling we do, so
Right.
that takes second place.
So, what is the kind of data feature, or which data feature sort of impacts your work the most?
I think these days we are using AI to infer a lot of data.
I see. Okay.
It is not. We have created most of the dashboards. We have all the data points in place. So we are not using AI to sort the data. We are using AI to interpret those data or give insights, which usually, say, a human would take X number of days to do. AI is probably able to do in a couple of minutes.
So, AI is the king, queen.
For data analytics, I think if you're not using AI to interpret data or to draw
Right.
insights from the data, then probably you're not using it to the fullest.
I'm sure. Your personal favorite, meetings or dashboards?
A very, very difficult question to answer. But I think we have now moved away from that phase where we are spending most of our time on dashboards. We are now probably spending more time on meetings, which are based on the insights we derive from those dashboards. So they are an integral part, but we are not spending more time on creating those dashboards. We are just
So, move past that.
correct. We have moved past that.
Okay, on that note, thank you so much, Nilay.
Thank you so
It
much.
was really insightful, and our audiences will definitely enjoy every bit of it, because it was not very technical, and it was really easy to understand. But you're doing a great job, and thanks a lot. On that note, we end this episode, but keep following us and stay tuned. Thank you.